Hey everyone, how's it going? What is up? It is me, Twisted Twister Windstalker, and I thought I would take a minute and talk about my first 10 hours of Battlefield 1. That's right, I got it to, since I pre-ordered the deluxe edition, which, looking back on it, it may not have been the right thing because I refused to pay the money for the season pass for Battlefront, and here I am turning around getting the season pass for Battlefield. Now, I don't know if it's worth it because I don't know what all they can actually add to this other than more maps and stuff, because I don't know if they'll add more missions or whatever. But I have to admit, the first 10 hours that I got to actually play and finish, that's why it took me so long and you didn't get a Friday video, because I was wanting to finish the 10 hours, even though I've been mainly doing multiplayer. The thing about it is, if you have an Origins or an EA Access, you got to play it the 13th, and you got 10 full hours to play the game, which is like 5 days earlier, because if you get the early enlist, you get to start playing the 18th. So, I'm glad I actually got to play these 10 hours of the game. And, I don't know. I mean, it's $5 per month, which is like $60 a year. Or you can do the $30 a month. And it's like, okay. And I know you get early access to other EA things, but I don't normally play EA games. I mean, Battlefront I did play for a while, but never got the EA access. I don't really play Madden anymore, which is another EA game, so I don't know if it's worth it for me or not. I mean, I have till November 1st to figure it out, but I don't know. I'm glad to get this free little sample, and it appears that Origins, which is a PC one, seems to be, exclusive for a PC. And then, of course, you got the Xbox One EA thing, and that pretty much leaves out the PlayStation people, which I'm not exactly sure why the PlayStation people got the short end of the stick on this one. I mean, you would think that, Sony would be like, hey, or even DICE would be like, hey, what's up? I mean, I know it's a DICE EA thing, and, EA seems to be an exclusive for Xbox for some reason. But, yeah, it allows you to play 10 hours. You get to do the intro, which you're not really meant to win. It just basically shows you the fundamentals of the game in case, I guess, you've never played a Battlefield before. And then you get to do Storm of Steel and Through Mud and Blood, which is basically tank mission you get to play. And because you start off, and you find yourself being a driver of a tank, get to drive the tank, which is really cool. Get to blow some stuff up and destroy stuff, which is awesome. And then you get to the point in the game where you release a pigeon. And this is actually what was like, I was like sitting here watching the pigeon fly, not thinking about nothing, because, they're like, oh, release the pigeon. And it's like, oh, okay. And then they release the pigeon, and you have the bird flying, and all the battle was going down below. And I didn't even think about controlling the pigeon. I just basically sat there watching this bird flying. I guess I wasn't paying attention, realizing that I was actually supposed to fly the bird. And I did almost nose dive in the ground a couple of times, which was hilarious. But yes, you actually get to fly a pigeon. I don't know if this is going to be you get to do this multiple times or whatever, but this one time you get to fly the pigeon. It's actually pretty funny. So there's that, and I finished that. Because, those two things aren't very long, and out of 10 hours, I mean, you have plenty of time to either play it again on hard mode, because they don't even give you an easy, they give you a normal and hard. I'm sure when the full game launches, there may even be an even harder mode than hard. But then, in multiplayer, you get to You get 5 maps. You get San Quentin, Scar. You get Aminos, Sinai Desert. Did I do them all? I get Fortress, and I don't even know how to pronounce the last one. Suze. And then that's Conquest and Rush. You get to do Operations and Domination, which both of those modes are really fun. I mean, I really enjoy doing the whole multiplayer thing, which is what I basically say. It took me what? Let's say it took an hour or two to beat the single player, which I don't even really think it actually took that long. That gives you 8 hours of multiplayer. I mean, if you're into multiplayer, that's cool. If you're not, which I've never really been. I mean, I played multiplayer like on Destiny and a few other things before, but never really tried to really do anything. It was just like some friends were like, "Oh, come on, let's do multiplayer." And it's like, oh. And then this one, I didn't have anybody that was actually doing it, and I was like, well, I have this 10 hours. I've already beat the single player campaign on normal and hard. What the heck? So I tried the multiplayer. It's pretty cool. If you play all, just fire it up and play a little bit, you get some kind of trench dog tag. And then if you play the full 10 hours, you get a battle pack, which I'm not exactly sure how these battle packs are going to work. I think they're going to be kind of like what they do with Tomb Raider. And, be like skins and whatever. I mean, in single player, I made it to like what? I mean, not single player, but multiplayer, I made it to what? Because I'm horrible at multiplayer games. I need a lot more practice. I really do. I made it to Private 4, I think it was, with the Assault class. And I kind of wanted to try out some of the other classes, but I don't know if I'm going to, if I go to one and then go back to, if I go to like the Scout class, which is the Sniper class, and then go back to the Assault class, I don't know if my rank stays the same or if it resets. I basically stayed with the Assault class in my 10-hour playthrough, so I'll have to find out when the full game launches the 18th, which is, if you buy the early enlisted version, you get to play the 18th. If not, anything other than that, you pretty much have to wait till the 21st. Sure, it's not that big of a deal. It's only like, 3 days? But, 3 days is 3 days, and people can really, there were some people on the 10 hours of free, because everything supposedly carries over from if you do the free 10 hours. So, there was people that was pretty high rank in multiplayer. So, I don't know how that's really going to affect anybody that's starting to play the 18th or the 21st. I'm going to say that some people will catch up pretty fast. I mainly played Conquest. I never really played Domination. It just didn't seem like a game mode for me. But, I'm going to try it when the full game releases the 18th. Because I am kind of curious about it. So, there's that. And the graphics, I was actually really impressed with the graphics on this game. It is pretty impressive. I don't know if you are really going to if we're going to win any awards or anything, but it's pretty impressive. And actually, I had so much fun. I know I'm jumping around here, but I had so much fun just hopping. I didn't really ride. I rode a horse once and used the sable, because you can do sable kills where you hop on a horse and use your sword to kill people. But I mainly stayed to the motorcycle and vehicles, and really basically just drove them around and wrecked into stuff and everything and ran people over or whatever. Didn't really hop in a tank. though I was killed by a tank a few times because I'd be running up trying to shoot somebody, and then the tank shoots me in the back, and it's like, and nobody wanted to communicate. You're being like a squad, and nobody in the squad really communicated, and you see the little thing up in the top corner, which PC people will used to be. I'm more used to hearing people in my ear than actually, which I need to get a better headset, because hearing people sneak up on you when you're trying to sniper really does make and break that multiplayer stuff. I have found out because, I was, just standing, I found myself looking at the target, taking a few shots, and then turning around, making sure nobody was flanking me quite a lot, because after getting killed, by not hearing people sneak up on me like twice, I was kind of nervous. I have to admit that. But yeah, I definitely found that pretty interesting. So my first serious foray into multiplayer was kind of weird, because I'm used to playing games where you play with friends and they actually talk to you. I mean, I played Siege, and used to people saying, left, right, up, down, roof, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, of course, I have played a few Siege rounds where nobody said anything. It made it really more difficult. And I was, had my headphone on, and because I have one of those cheap, the headphones that come with the Xbox. And I was like, watch out behind you, just to watch that person not even pay attention. And I don't know if they had it set up where it came through their speakers or whatever. I know one dude probably was using his Kinects, because they kept hearing whatever it was the woman was saying on the screen through my headphones, because I think it was feeding through the Kinects into the thing, and it happened, just a second or so later than me. So yeah, there's that. So I am interested. I mean, that's the thing that bothers me. These people, some people have the Kinects, and you would think that they would be able to talk loud enough, so that anybody could hear. I mean, that's the one thing I think that turned me away from multiplayer, is the lack of communication during things. And it's like, really? You want to make this game even more difficult than it has to be, just because you don't want to tell people what's right, what's left, flank right, watch out for the sniper on the roof, the sniper, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, oh, man. But it won't deter me away from actually playing multiplayer, because it actually is going to make me a better player, I'm guessing. Because, I never really played it in the first place, so it should make me a better player, even though it's kind of sad that nobody wants to communicate. Hopefully some of my friends will actually get Battlefield, and then I can play with them and not have to worry about it. So there's that. Now I can't wait to see what I've seen a few glitches, like horses pausing and appearing in buildings, and me being in buildings where people either spawn in or multiple of them just come running through the door, and I shoot one dude and turn around to shoot the other dude, and by that time it's too late, because by the time I have the sensitivity turned all the way up to 100%. By the time I swing around and squeeze the trigger, boom, boom, boom. That's the thing. Some of the gun, I realize that some of them are going to be like 2 or 3 hit kills or 1 hit kills, but some of those people, I don't know, dudes and dudettes, it just seemed like a lot of people had those guns. And I know I'm new to this and everything, and it's probably all fair play and everything, and I hadn't ranked up enough, because I think you start getting the money on rank 2 or 3 or private. I forget which. I think it may even be 1. I need to, go out and buy some better gear. I definitely see that coming. I got to figure out what class works better for me, and then start buying gear for that class, and then ranking up, and, because I found out that the character rank and the other rank for the weapons and everything is 2 different things, and you kind of got to do, and it's like, okay. But anyway, that was my experience with Battlefield 1. I hope you guys like it. if you like this video, give us a thumbs up, leave comments down below, subscribe. And if you guys are going to play Battlefield 1, let me know. And we may hook up and play. Have a good